Okay, so let's see here. Just making sure I got my virtual machine set up and running properly. So, let's take a look. Just barely in there. Alright, so let's see shots through. Right. Why does it appear that there's evidence? What is this? That means, okay.
Yo, does that work? It's a weird voice.
Anyway, let's put this out. Here. All right. Okay. So before I start recording, supposed to be in the last demo, there was stack.java. Now there's still stack.java. So let's see what we're gonna do is we're gonna create something in this repo. We'll create a whole project. So yeah, in this demo, what we are going to do is what was said here. Video. Okay, so we're going to create a Maven project in Eclipse. We're going to add the Maven project to the Git staging area with right now. Now, in the Git staging area, should be nothing. Let's give a shot that makes sense for you guys. Booyaka. Ooh, the green screen is all jacked up. I think that might be you making shadows, but whatever, it's all good. Anywho, let's see here. So there shouldn't be anything in the repo. And there's nothing floating around, but there is a stack.java. So that's been committed to the repo. It's not in the staging area. All right, let's get into Eclipse and take a look. Just doing a little housekeeping. I haven't even hit record yet. Be nice to have something to drink, though. Okay, so let's see here. No, I'll get it. Got a bit of shadow face going on here. Okay, so let's see here. We're in Eclipse. We got no projects. Our repo connection is empty. We are good to go. All right, so I want to have this up. Not that. We'll start off on the terminal. I'm going to come back over here. Oh, interesting. I'll come back over here and go back to this shot with the matrix. Dun dun dun. And no music playing, right? Yeah. All right. And then I want this showing. this. All right, let's give it a shot. Here we go. A 1 and a 2, and you know what to do. Hey, welcome back. In the last demo, we created a Git repository. And in that Git repository, we created a basic text file, a Java file actually, with a single Java class in it called stack. That'll become more relevant in this demo. But in this demo, we're basically going to do the same type of repository manipulation, but instead of doing it at the command prompt, we're going to do it using Eclipse. In fact, we'll jump back and forth between Eclipse and the command prompt. So let's dig into it. I'm Antoine Victor, and this is ProDataManTrains. Okay, so like I said, we're going to create a Maven project, and then we're going to add that Maven project to the Git staging area, and then we're going to commit that Maven project to the Git repository. And that once we've verified that the files have been committed to a local Git repository, we're going to connect that local Git repository to a remote repository. And then we'll go ahead and push that Maven project out to that remote repo. So let's start by taking a look at our local repository and what's left over from our project in the last demo. So you can see I've already done a file list here. And the only file that's present is this stack utility folder and its stack.java file. If we do a git status, we can see that there's nothing in the working tree. The working tree is clean. There's nothing waiting to be committed. Everything is good to go. So let's jump over to Eclipse. And in Eclipse, this is just a standard IDE for developing Java solutions. In Eclipse, some prefer IntelliJ, some prefer Visual Studio Code. But we're going to use Eclipse today. And in Eclipse, we are going to first create a simple Maven project by going to the File menu, selecting New, choosing Other, and then selecting a Maven project here from the Maven folder. We're going to tell it to create a simple project, no archetype selection. We're not going to get into anything complex here. We're just going to create just enough code so that we have something to commit to Git. I'm going to set the group ID as PDM and the artifact ID as, we'll call it stack app. We're going to put our stack app into our stack utility Git repository. Go ahead and hit finish. And now we've got our stack app project with pretty much nothing in it at this point except for the project object model XML file. I'm just going to quickly create a test file just so we have something to commit. Create a JUnit test case. And for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to use JUnit 4. I'm going to call my test stack test. And I'm going to go ahead and use the default package because we're not building a production app here, even though it says the use of the default package is discouraged. We're going to ignore that warning. And yes, I do want to go ahead and add the JUnit 4 library to the build path. Why not have the system do that for me instead of doing it manually at the command prompt? All right, there we go. For now, that's good enough. We'll flesh this out a little further in a future test-driven development demo. But for now, let's go ahead and add it to our existing Git repository. First, let's add our existing Git repository. our stack utility repo. Go ahead and add that guy. And then we're going to add our project to that repo. We're going to do that from the team menu by selecting Share Project. And then we can just select the repository from the drop-down here. There's our stack utility repository. All right. So now we should be able to address the changes that we've made to our project files. Do we save this? Let's go ahead and, nope, it's been saved. And now we can see that our unstaged changes show up here in the Git staging area. Let's take a look at the command prompt. If we go to our terminal and we now do a git status, we have the stack app that we just created, that stack app project, showing as untracked files, meaning that they have not yet been moved into the staging area. Now, as we saw in the previous demo, we could do a git add dot, and we could add all those files to the staging area from the command prompt. But let's do that a little bit differently this time. This time, instead of typing at the command prompt, we're simply going to come to the unstaged changes area. We're going to do a Control A to select all of the files there. And then we are just going to drag and drop those files